This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Forest River Salem FSX travel trailer, model number 178 BHSK. Alright, so this is not a floor plan or a sales video. This is a how-to video. I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work, okay? So we start off with the power awning, which has a power awning. There's a switch inside, I'll show you, and it also has an LED strip for a light. You have crank down stabilizers. It comes with a 3/4 inch crank, but you can use a 3/4 inch socket on a drill if you choose to. Just don't over tighten it or over extend them. So you have this is an AC refrigerator here, so when you're plugged in it works. Also, this griddle, for example, it pulls out. This uses this hose here. So you can see this is the quick connect side here. That will attach right here. And then the male end will attach to this quick connect down here. So that's where you plug the LP line into the grill and into the system, okay? Now, this is your water heater. The switch to control it is inside. The one thing to remember is this is where you drain it at right here. This is an 1 1/16 6-point socket, and you also would need a 6-inch extension and then something to break it with, a ratchet or a bar or whatever. Keep in mind that it's also at least 6 inches long because it's got a sacrificial anode rod on the back of it. So whenever you drain it, and you're going to put it back in to use it again, make sure you start it with your fingers and make sure it screws, you know, maybe 3 or 4 rotations with your hand before you put a wrench in there. You don't want to strip it out because it's very awkward because it's got that long shaft and it's sort of heavy on the other side. So make sure you start it with your fingers. The switch for this is inside. I'll show you that when we get there. Now, the most common way to get water to the trailer is a city water hookup. That's on the other side of the trailer. Right here, this is the fresh water connection. This port here fills the fresh water tank. So if you're camping at a campground that doesn't have plumbing on the campsites, you can pre-fill this tank and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. Everything will work as though you have city water. You just be pumping it out of the tank. And of course, the fresh water drain is below. You'll see it down there. Okay. Also, this is the vent for the range hood. If you can see, it's got a baffle in here. Hopefully you can see with the sun right above us here. But you want this baffle flapping freely when you're venting to the outside. If not, you can snap it shut. But if you're going to use that vent, you want to open that baffle so it flaps freely. Okay? Now this is just a hookup if you wanted to purchase a solar battery charger. You can plug it in right there. Okay, so you get a 20-pound LP tank, a deep cycle marine battery, and a kill switch for the battery. The thing is, your solar panel charges the battery. When you're towing it, your tow vehicle charges the battery, and when you're plugged in, your power converter charges the battery. So you want to leave it on unless you've got a deep storage somewhere, okay? That's part of your hitch. Your hitch is a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. So it's a good one. We'll show you how that operates when you pick up. This is your 3/4 inch crank for your stabilizers. Just so you know, this switch here, this slide out here is called a Schwintek. That's the type it is. There are different kinds. You got a Schwintek. Okay, so you have a 30-foot, 30-amp shore cord. Okay. You have your dump valves here, gray, which is sink and shower water, and then black, which is toilet water and waste. Now, if you dump the black and leave it open like it is now, you can come up here to the black tank flush and put the hose at the dump station on here, turn it on, and it'll spray out the inside of the tank, spray off the sensor so you get a good accurate reading. Just remember, you have to have that open, like it says on the sticker. You got to have the valve open before you turn the water on. All right. Now, this is your city water hookup. I told you on the other side this is the most common way to get water to the trailer, and there it is. Okay. A low point drain that has to do with winterizing. Campground cable through here. Okay. You have a shower for kids and dogs and feet and whatever you have to hose down. Also, up here you have, it's pre-wired for a backup hammer if you ever want to add one. You get the Furrion that fits in that housing, and you're all set. While we're looking up, you got to keep in mind that the manufacturer states that you should inspect the roof every 90 days. You just look for cracking and separation at any of the sealant, for example. Look to make sure the roofing attachments and the roofing material weren't damaged by low branches or road debris flipping up there, something like that, okay? The only reason you do it, the main reason you do it is to protect your investment, because you just don't know what's happening up there unless you go up there and look, okay? All right. So here we go. So this is your control panel. This one is for your power awning. This one's for your slide out. Never leave the power awning out unattended. Roll it in. To turn your water pump on right there. Remember I told you the water pump is for pumping water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. It's also used to winterize the trailer. Your water heater, which is on gas, right here. You've got two lights, one inside, one outside. And then you have your levels. Your battery's charged. Fresh water is almost full because we're prepping it. Your black is empty, your gray is empty. These lights graduate in 1/3 increments. So once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping the black and the gray tank. Okay. I should pull that sticker off for you. Hold on 1 second, please. Because the trailer is not winterized right now. It's ready to go. So okay. So when I come over to here, on the other side of the door, this is your solar controller. It's for your solar panel. The reason it's saying FUL right now, it's telling you the battery's full. There's no room for any more energy to go in the battery. So if you just go to the next point, there's 13.7 volts in the battery, which is perfect. You go to here, it says this is the amps gained from the sun, right? Normally it would say 5.7, 4.6, whatever it says, depending on what time of day it is, the position of the sun, the amount of clouds in the sky, that sort of thing. But right now it's saying you're getting 0.0 amps from the sun. The reason it's doing that is because the battery's full. There's no place to store anything. If you drain the battery down, it'll change and it'll say like 4.7 or 5.3, whatever it happens to be. But right now you're seeing full right there, and then 0.0 amps. So as soon as you use some energy from the battery, the solar panel will be putting power into the battery. Now, if you want to down the road, you can always add a second battery, so you got double storage. Just make sure when you wire it, that you wire it so it stays 12 volts. There's two different ways to wire it. One way will increase it to 24 volts. You don't want that. You want to wire it so it just doubles your storage capacity. It's 12 volts, but double the capacity, okay? And that's always an option in the future. The next one is 9.7 amp hours, and then back to 13.7 out of your battery, which is perfect, okay? Hopefully I explained that good to you. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is. If not, you want to get it serviced. But if it goes off, you take everybody outside. It's detected carbon monoxide or LP gas. You take everybody outside, shut the gas off at the front, figure out what's going on. And anytime, if at any point there's not a green light on it, you want to get it serviced because it's important, obviously. Okay. All right. That's your furnace right there. The thermostat for the furnace is right here. It's analog. It clicks to the left, so I can go like this, and it's running. But when you turn it off, you want to hear this. You want it to click right off. Otherwise, it could stay running if you're pulling it down the road, that sort of thing. So make sure you shut it off completely. Right now, we're running on AC, of course, because it's 100 degrees outside, and it works like a regular window air conditioner. It's self-explanatory. Well, let me do this. This is the range hood I was telling you about. I showed you the vent on the outside, and I showed you that you can open the baffle so it flaps freely. So if you're venting with the fan on, you want that baffle open so it vents to the outside. Okay. Light. Your range top. You got two burners. You always want to keep this shut when you're traveling. Never leave it open. And you just light it manually. It's got a light here too, but it works just like a grill or anything like that. You just light it. Okay. This is a Bluetooth speaker. It pulls off the wall by pushing it up. This is sitting on a charging base. But you just take it right off, and then the controls are here. It works like all of them do. Okay, it's rechargeable, obviously, and there's the charger. These are your keys, right here. Now, this microwave works like any other microwave. Okay. The refrigerator is a 12-volt DC compressor refrigerator. So it runs on 12-volt DC, and you can see it's got a lot of room inside. Let me look, make sure I'm not missing anything. 2 bunks, of course. Okay, so let me go in the bathroom. The sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. This is a GFCI here. So all the plugs in the trailer, except for the refrigerator, all the plugs in the trailer are wired through this GFCI. So if you're using a coffee pot outside and it pops, you would reset it in here. Keep that in mind. Even if you're not even though if you look at the plug and it looks like a regular plug, it's still wired through this GFCI. Okay. Your toilet has a flush pedal right here. Okay. It works just like that. Okay. Now the thing to know is you can't use it dry. This has to have chemical and water in it before you start using it. So when you get to the campground to hook up your power and your water, your black tank is going to be empty. So your black tank is directly below us here, okay? So you're going to dump chemical in the bowl, and then you're going to step on the pedal. Because the water's hooked up, water is going to come swirling out, and you put at least a gallon in the black tank along with the chemical. Some people use more, it's up to you. But the thing is, you can't use it dry or the smell will be terrible, plus it can get clogged up. So you always start off by putting chemical and water. Now let's say you're going to stay another week at the campground, but you had to dump your black tank, right? So you dump it, and then you would repeat the procedure because you're going to stay at the campground. You'd put a dose of chemical in there and a gallon of water or so to start off with, and you're all set until next time you dump it. Okay? Also, there's a vent here, right? Always use that with the shower. And anytime, let's say it's the time of year where you start to get condensation from your breath, and you've got a bunch of people over, just turn this on and leave the fan run, and it'll pull the condensation right out. You won't have to worry about it. Okay? So, this is where your TV hooks up here, and there's a backing plate here. You make sure you always turn that on. See how it's green now? Always turn that on when you're using the antenna. That's the digital antenna booster. And this is just telling you it's prepped for a public Wi-Fi booster. You can go to King Connect and go to their website and look at the packages. But it would consist of a router that's inside here and an antenna on the roof. If they offer you an option with no antenna, you don't want that one. You want to get the one with the antenna on the roof. And there'll be a plate like this up on the roof too where you can hook the antenna up, okay? That's just in case you need public Wi-Fi boosted, okay? So your slide room, if you want to, you can pull up the poles and drop the tabletop down onto these cleats and use the cushions to fill in the space. You've got another bed there. The Murphy bed, or hide a bed, Murphy bed, you'll just remove these cushions, like so, and then unlatch it and fold it down. That's all there is to it. It's a great thing because you can reclaim the floor space during the day. So a smaller trailer seems much more like a bigger trailer when you do that, because you reclaim the space that the bed takes up, okay? All right, so I think that about covers it. Let me look around and make sure I didn't forget anything. I don't think I have. Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting your roof every 90 days. That's one of the most important things you can do when it comes to maintenance. That way you know exactly what's happening with your roof. People generally don't inspect it enough. It just takes a few minutes, and you can walk up there, no problem. Just be very careful and make sure that everything is in good shape on your roof, okay? And the last thing is, this is not winterized anymore. This has been de-winterized. It's in camping mode. So all the antifreeze has been purged from the system, and it's filled with water, so it's ready to be camped, okay? Thank you very much.